Attention, passionate Dallas Cowboys fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East, and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Dallas Cowboys' path to another championship run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before we dive in, if you're a true Dallas Cowboys fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and fellow Dallas Cowboys fans. Let's get to the news. Now, folks, if you've been paying close attention to the NFL landscape lately, you know that the Dallas Cowboys are always in the thick of things, especially when it comes to making bold moves to improve their roster. And right now, the buzz around the team is hotter than ever, particularly concerning a potential trade that could reshape their defense, and who knows, maybe even set the stage for another deep playoff run. We're talking about the possibility of acquiring All-Pro defensive end Max Crosby from the Las Vegas Raiders. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, is this just another rumor? Has the window closed on such a blockbuster deal? Well, the situation is more complex and intriguing than it appears on the surface, so let us break it down. First off, it all started earlier this week when whispers began to circulate that the Cowboys were exploring the idea of bringing Crosby to Dallas. This was big news because Crosby, as many of you know, is one of the most disruptive pass rushers in the league. He is a guy who can change the game single-handedly, especially in today's NFL, where the pass rush has become more critical than ever. The Cowboys, with their aspirations to contend for a Super Bowl, see a guy like Crosby not just as an upgrade, but as a game changer. Now, initially, there was excitement. Reports surfaced that Dallas had indeed reached out to the Raiders about a potential trade, igniting hopes among fans that perhaps the team was willing to make a bold move before the trade deadline. But as is often the case in the NFL, things are never that straightforward. The excitement was short-lived because conflicting reports soon emerged that cast doubt on whether the Cowboys had actually made any such move. Some sources indicated that Dallas had not contacted Las Vegas at all, suggesting that the rumors might have been exaggerated or misunderstood. Meanwhile, from the Raiders' side, reports emerged that they were not interested in trading Crosby. And that is a crucial point because, in the NFL, when a team makes it clear they're not inclined to trade a star player, it is usually a sign that they're holding onto their prized assets for dear life, especially when competing for playoff positioning. But don't get discouraged just yet, Cowboys fans, because even with this apparent cooling of trade talks, there are insiders who still believe that the possibility isn't completely dead. Brian Broaddus, a well-respected insider and analyst, recently talked about this situation and provided some hope that Dallas isn't giving up just yet. He emphasized that the team is still actively exploring options as the trade deadline approaches, and that the chatter about Crosby's potential move isn't entirely extinguished. Broaddus pointed out that, despite some of the public statements from the Raiders and the apparent reluctance to trade Crosby, the situation might be more nuanced. He said there are voices like Jane Slater and Tom Pelissero who have suggested that the Raiders are not inclined to trade him. We heard similar sentiments from Stephen Jones, who was quite clear at Nabu when he stated he wouldn't trade Micah Parsons. Now, that is a telling comparison because Micah Parsons, as you all know, is considered one of the top defensive players in the league. And if the Cowboys are willing to keep him, it shows that they're not afraid to make bold moves when the right opportunity arises. Broaddus continued, but I don't think this is dead. It spread quickly, and now the parties involved seem to be trying to cool things down. That is a key phrase because it indicates that behind closed doors, Dallas and the Raiders might still be engaging in quiet negotiations, or at least exploring whether a deal could be feasible. So what is the next step? Well, as the trade deadline looms on the horizon, the Cowboys front office, led by Jerry Jones, could still be contemplating a blockbuster move. The idea of adding Crosby is not just about improving the pass rush. It is about addressing a crucial need on defense. The Cowboys' defense, while solid overall, has sometimes struggled against high-power defenses, especially in the postseason. A player of Crosby's caliber could elevate that unit to a different level. And let us not forget, the Cowboys have a history of making aggressive moves at the deadline. Remember the trades for players like Amari Cooper or the signing of key free agents in past years. It is in their DNA to go all in when the opportunity is right. Now, the question is whether Crosby, with his production and reputation, would consider a move to Dallas if the deal is offered. The Raiders, of course, are in a tough spot. They value Crosby highly and may be hesitant to part ways with him, unless the offer is really compelling. But sometimes, as we know, a player's desire to compete or the team's strategic plans can influence the outcome. If Dallas puts together a package that appeals to the Raiders, and if Crosby himself is open to a fresh start, then the deal could still happen. And folks, this is where the drama gets even more interesting. The NFL trade deadline is just around the corner, and it's always a period full of surprises. Teams are weighing their options, assessing their needs, and trying to strike that perfect balance between holding on to their stars and making that bold move to push their Super Bowl chances forward. Dallas, with their deep pockets and aggressive approach, remains a team to watch. Whether it's Crosby or another impactful player, Jerry Jones' willingness to be aggressive could be the difference maker in these final days. Of course, there's also the strategic aspect. Dallas's front office knows that acquiring Crosby would send a loud message to the rest of the league that this team is serious about contending, that they're willing to make bold moves to maximize their Super Bowl window. Plus, adding a player like Crosby would not only boost the pass rush, but also create more pressure on opposing quarterbacks, opening up opportunities for the rest of the defense to thrive. It's a move that could have ripple effects across the entire team. But let us also consider the Raiders' perspective. They're in a position where they might want to hold on to Crosby to help push for postseason spot. Trading him would be a risk, especially since he has such a disruptive force and still relatively young. The Raiders might also be waiting to see if any other teams step up with a compelling offer, or they might be betting that Crosby's value will only increase closer to the deadline. It's a chess game, and the Cowboys are surely trying to position themselves as a player in this game. Looking ahead, the next few days are going to be critical. Will Dallas make a last-minute push? Will the Raiders soften their stance? Or will Crosby remain in Las Vegas for the remainder of the season? The excitement among Cowboys fans is palpable because everyone knows how much a player of Crosby's caliber could change the trajectory of their season. It's about adding that missing piece, that game-changing talent that could help push Dallas over the top. And I have to say, if Jerry Jones and his team do pull off this trade, it's going to be one of the most talked-about transactions of the season. It could set a precedent for what the Cowboys are willing to do to stay competitive. The NFL is all about the right moves at the right time, and this could be that moment. The coming days will tell us whether Dallas's pursuit of Max Crosby will come to fruition, or if they have to look elsewhere. But one thing for sure, the energy in the Cowboys fan base right now is electric, and everyone is waiting to see what happens next. Now, we all love speculating and analyzing these situations, but one thing is certain: the Cowboys are never afraid to make bold decisions, especially when it comes to bolstering their roster for a championship run. The organization has a history of making moves that sometimes catch us all off guard, and this potential pursuit of Crosby could be one of those moves that defines their season. The front office knows the stakes, and with the trade deadline fast approaching, they're probably working around the clock to see if this deal can be made happen. So, as fans, we need to stay tuned, stay hopeful, and keep our fingers crossed that Dallas finds a way to get this done. Because if they do, it could be the move that pushes them from good to great, from playoff contenders to Super Bowl champions. And that's what we're all here for, to see our team rise to the top, to witness history, and to cheer for those moments that make us proud to be Cowboys fans. The next few days will be crucial, and I promise I'll be right here updating you with all the latest news, rumors, and insights. Because when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys, the story is never over and the excitement keeps building. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Dallas Cowboys news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let's continue with the big reveal. And now, Dallas Cowboys fans, I want to hear from you. What is your take on this? Do you believe a deal for Max Crosby is still possible? Are you confident that Jerry Jones and his team will pull the trigger if the opportunity arises? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Dallas Cowboys. Remember, the NFL trade deadline is just around the corner, and every move, every decision could define the future of this team. I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Dallas Cowboys news. We in this together, and I can't wait to see what the next chapter holds for our beloved team. Thanks for watching, and as always, let us go Cowboys.